Hey, what is up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. It's that time of the week once again for liveries of the week. Moving into episode number 6, a series in which I try to showcase all of your amazing liveries made inside Gran Turismo 7. If you do want to get involved with this series, be sure to tag your creations with the hashtag listed on screen now. This is your best chance to be able to get featured in this series. So let's get started for the first of the 10 cars this week, and it's going to be this. This is the Amuse 380 RS Superleggera. This one is by Elmis Mafafo, who has this beautiful sort of street tuned style version, and I honestly absolutely loved this one as soon as I saw it. Now, we did have a ton of these awesome street custom liveries available to have a look at. Now, in my honest opinion though, this was probably the best of the bunch. It's very simplistic but keeps that very street styling going, giving it a very aggressive overall look. I absolutely love this one. If you do want to check out many different types of amazing custom vehicles, then be sure to check out his other creations. He does have plenty of these and they're all absolutely amazing. Fully recommend this one. Absolutely kicking off number 1 of 10 for this week. So from tuner cars to meme cars, this one is by Darnig, who has this absolutely amazing BMW 330D Top Gear livery from the 2007 Brit Car 24-hour endurance. If you're like me and you watch the hell out of Top Gear way back in the day, you'll probably very fondly remember this car. It's the car that they entered into the Brit Car, and it did eventually survive the entire 24 hours, ending up with Jeremy Clarkson absolutely in tears come the end of it. A very funny car overall. I remember the livery placements when they were sort of designing this thing were very, you know, in certain places to make it spell out certain things when the door opened and stuff like that. I just absolutely loved this car way back then. So to see a replica in Gran Turismo 7 is absolutely incredible. Obviously not based on the exact model. So let's move on next to one by yours truly once again. I noticed this one was kind of popping off. It's the AFEELA base model. So really, what have I gone with here? Well, you can probably tell I've gone for the classic trend of black plastic bumpers to make the car even uglier than it already was. So I feel like this is a trend that's kind of really starting to fade out from the motor industry. Only very few cars actually feature it these days, but sort of in the, you know, late 90s, you know, early 2000s, base models of cars pretty much always featured this black plastic trim. For me, I can always remember the early generation or the first generation of 4Car or 4KA, whatever you want to call it, very prominently featuring those black plastic bumpers, and that's kind of what made the inspiration for this one. So be sure to head it over to my gallery if you do want to get this one for your AFEELA. Let's move on next. We have Neon, who has this stunning Hyundai Genesis Group 3 livery. As you can see, very much a manufacturer art style vehicle, and I just absolutely love this one. For me, the Hyundai is very much an unsung car of Group 3. It never really gets touched, but for me, as soon as I saw this livery, I just had to go out and use this vehicle, and this one will probably stay on the car until this game is completely done and dusted. Whilst don't get me wrong, the Hyundai that this livery goes on is still a fairly underwhelming Group 3 car. It definitely gave me a whole different type of appreciation for it. Really just feels like a much more enjoyable car to use just with that amazing livery swap. So massive thank you to Neon for this one. Absolutely great work with this, and in all honesty, like I said, I don't think I'll probably ever get this livery removed. Really enjoying this one. Moving on next, we have one by Joey B, who has this stunning GT199 Toyota Motorsport livery. As you can see, with a bit of a different styling. This is the whole navy blue on white GT1 styled livery, and I absolutely really love this one. Now for me, the red on the Toyota GT1 is absolutely iconic, and I can't generally just picture it in any other colour than that red. However, this one may have just changed my mind. The sort of navy blue, the white wheels just really blends almost seamlessly into this very stunning and beautiful livery. And whilst it looked absolutely amazing in the preview, it really does show itself even better when it's actually on the car and you actually go out and see it in action. Really loving this one. Again, a whole different take on the Toyota, away from the typical reds that we see. So massive well done to Joey B for this one. Moving on next, we have Sleazy, who has this absolutely awesome street glow spec. classic 90s retro-inspired JDM livery. There's no other way to really put it. It really reminds me of the old Max Power days in terms of the whole body kits and, you know, sort of art style that was going on. In fact, the first thing I thought of as soon as I saw this car with this body kit and wheels and such was Midnight Club Racing, the first ever one with that box art and that very beautiful bright yellow Mazda that featured on it. So certainly while the days of, you know, Lamborghini doors and big body kits are definitely pretty much behind us in the tuner scene, I really do have this whole new appreciation for it as they've sort of become this whole nostalgic time of sort of the tuner scene from way back in the sort of late 90s, early 2000s. Obviously it's definitely more towards the high power, you know, very OEM sort of styling these days, but massive appreciation for this livery. Really loving this one. Up next we have Steer GT, who has this Civic touring car number 44 livery, and as you can see, it very much looks like the official thing. This for me definitely seems like a livery that you'd probably see in a TCR race. I absolutely love it. It really does look insanely good on track as well. It's very bold, it's very bright, the way that the sponsors are all there and it's looking very official without being properly official or too in your face is just absolutely incredible. It's a really nice piece of work. Whilst it does look like an official race car, I feel like it could almost be, you know, sort of a bit of an art car as well. Very well done, very high quality, no real blurry edges or anything like that, and I feel like overall this is a very well done livery, right up there with the likes of the Spoon livery for me. Really enjoyed this one. So let's move on to something a little bit different. This is another replica. This time it's the Dodge Viper GTSR Team Orica livery, probably one of the most iconic liveries to ever feature on any type of Dodge vehicle. Very prominent in Gran Turismo 3, I believe was the first time I ever saw this one. Absolutely stunning, and it's a great little replica that we have here. It's a bit too overly busy maybe for some people's taste, but I do feel like it looks absolutely incredible when it's out on track. And in terms of porting over a road going version of a car and making it look like the proper race vehicle, absolutely stellar job here. One thing I've always found when it comes to porting these road cars into sort of a classic race car is that they just sometimes look a little bit off, but D-Pad here has done an incredible job getting this iconic classic back into Gran Turismo 7. So let's move on again to something slightly different. This is back to the Group 3 cars. This one is by TCR Yummy, who has this stunning Mirage Motorsport AMG GT3. And I honestly think this might just be my new favourite livery for the AMG GT3 from 2020. It's very bold, it's very bright, and the absolute time it must have taken to get this livery made and into the game would be probably absolutely ridiculous. So massive appreciation for this one. As soon as I saw it tagged about 2 weeks ago, I thought, yeah, okay, this one has to feature in an episode of Liveries of the Week. If I had to choose a hero car for this week's liveries, this would certainly be it. It's just absolutely top notch. I feel like this one is probably going to stay on the car for the longest time. In all honesty, the colours, the way it looks, the way it presents itself, it's very aggressive, very good looking. So let's move on next to Slenderman, who has this replica of the 1990 Lombard RAC Rally livery for the Lancia Delta. As you can see, pretty much the spitting image. Unfortunately though, I didn't actually have a non-wide body Delta lying around to be able to actually get this one out on track, so I do apologise, but I absolutely love the work of this one. For me, there was just something seriously cool about the early 90s and the Delta without the whole big kit on it and stuff like that, so this one really appealed to me without that big spoiler that typically sits on the back. So there we go, that is going to be the end of another Liveries of the Week. A massive thank you to everyone that submitted their liveries. I will again be returning next week with episode number 7. If you do want to get involved, be sure to use the hashtag that is shown on screen now. I cannot wait to see more of your guys' amazing work, and thank you so much. Keep them coming. Big thank you to all of my channel members. I massively appreciate each and every single one of you. Anyway, you guys at home, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Take care, guys. Peace.